Good day, everyone. My name is Miles Sanford, and today's topic is resistance to change. Now, what is resistance to change? Resistance to change is the unwillingness to adapt to altered circumstances. But before we get into the meat of the matter, we will now look at why is there a need for change. Firstly, performance gaps. This is where the organization's goals and objectives are not being met. Secondly, new technology being introduced. We all know that the technological world is vastly improving, and if we fail to adapt or we fail to keep up, this can cause tremendous losses for our business. Thirdly, identification of opportunities. When opportunities are seen in the market, it must be pursued to maintain competitiveness. And this is such an important note because a lot of businesses do this. But for example, you have a company that caters to adults. But you find out that whatever you're producing can also be, catered to teenagers. After identifying this opportunity, you will have to change how you would administer your product to the teenagers, if it is that you decide to take that opportunity. Now, what are some of the reasons for resistance to change? Firstly, when employees are poorly introduced to the changes that may affect how they work. Secondly, when employees are not considered or involved in the decision-making process of the change. And lastly, this is a very, very, very common reason, the fear that they may lose their jobs. We're getting into it now, guys. How can we demotivate resistance to change? And I hope you guys hear me loud and clear on this one. No incentives. And yes, I said it. No incentives. And the reason being is I can attest to, this whole incentive scheme. I've worked in many, companies in Jamaica. I've even gone across overseas and worked for, a couple months, for a year. And these incentives are incentives to change, let me say. Incentives to change are somewhat individualized. As an average person, sometimes these incentives do not. We don't receive these incentives, as a worker. So there would be no motivation for me to say, okay, I will just accept this change. But again, how can we demotivate resistance to change? By developing a culture that embraces change. And you can do this through establishing a communication and action channel. Meaning when employees ask for a change in a minor detail where feasible, management try and change it. And this allows employees to feel valued in the company. We can also prepare employees for upcoming changes and reassure uncertainty. And I know a lot of people love to be, reassured, because following up with the fear that they may lose their job. If you reassure employees that they will still be in the best interest of the company, or even better, why would they not be receptive to a change? We can also train employees on what to do, or we can train employees how to do what is needed to adapt. Training employees shouldn't be just for new employees. Training employees shouldn't be just for an annual checkup to see how well employees carry out their job. These are things that we need to do. We need to learn. We need to accept the fact that sometimes some persons will be slower to change than others. And this is where training how to adapt will help this situation. But I hope you guys saw where I was going. This is a discussion I really wanted to have. All these factors that I just listed out stabilizes the mental capacity of the employees. Everything employee does requires the mind and being in the right frame of mind. The mental capacity of every employee in your organization is a powerful thing. This is what makes up the firm. This is what people use to function and carry out your tasks on a daily basis. And if they're not in the right frame of mind, they will not be receptive to change, or if they even accept the change won't be implemented properly. I leave by saying the mind is a powerful thing, and what you fill it with determines the outcome. Thank you.